Congestion. It's something that affects all of us. As the wheels of our cars turn at a snail's pace, so have the financing mechanisms for our mobility projects. The time is right for us to get behind the wheel and take control of how we move forward with our transportation projects.
San Antonio is a city where many people have chosen to live. Those of us who already live here know why they want to come here. It's a beautiful place. It's filled with wonderful people. Our environment is nice. We love South Texas. People are choosing to come to San Antonio. As they come, our economy grows. What we need to make certain, though, is as we look forward, that our infrastructure, particularly transportation, is able to accommodate that growth in numbers of people.
With population booming, mobility becomes an increasingly important factor in the quality of our lives and in the future of our community.
Mobility is important because I have a family, I have a life, I want to be able to move, I want to be able to move safely. I want to know that when my 19-year-old son is on that highway, that he's in a safe condition. So it's important to me. It's important to my personal life. It's also important to the community from a business perspective. As we look to grow and build a diverse community of businesses in our area, we need to know that we can move people around in this community.
As our mobility needs and population have grown, so has our traffic congestion and the need for a specialized entity to bring relief by improving our transportation infrastructure.
The Alamo Regional Mobility Authority was created to address mobility needs in our community. Certainly, we have a vision of what it ought to be as we look forward 10, 40, 50 years from now. We also, though, have the responsibility of meeting these areas in our community where congestion exists today.
There is a saying that in life, it's important to know where you want to go, but it is more important to know how to get there. With that in mind, the Alamo RMA has a roadmap on how to effectively and efficiently get our future transportation projects funded and built.
There is absolutely no doubt in anyone's mind that it is a difficult time to start and then finance new projects. The federal government's not doing that, state government is not doing that, and it's a lot to ask the county and the city to do these projects that come in totals of hundreds of millions of dollars. But at the same time, we can't sit here while our city grows, congestion develops, problems develop in neighborhoods because people can't move through them easily and quickly, and then simply hope and wait for these governmental entities, federal or state, to come down and solve our problems. We've got to be creative. We've got to be responsible for our own destiny, and we've got to come forward with our own solutions to the largest extent possible. What that means is we need to often use funding sources from every direction where we can find those opportunities.
The Alamo RMA is also tasked with the important responsibility of conducting two separate environmental impact statements. Both of these EISs will help ensure the protection of our environment and our precious drinking water source, the Edwards Underground Aquifer.
The Alamo Regional Mobility Authority is doing two environmental impact statements. One is on 281 as it goes north from 1604, and the other is for 1604 as it arcs across the northern part of our community. Both of these studies are costly in time and in money. It's approximately 5 years per study, and we're running them concurrently, and it's just under $20 million in total to make certain these studies are done properly and thoroughly. But it's worth the time and it's worth the money, because as we develop these plans for roads, we're doing so over that very sensitive, very precious water supply just beneath the surface. None of us in the Alamo Regional Mobility Authority, because we live here, want to do anything that would harm or degrade that source of drinking water for our community. So yes, these environmental impact statements are costly in time and money. We believe they're worth it.
These two multi-million-dollar EISs began in 2009 and are expected to take between 3 and 5 years to complete, and in fact are the most comprehensive environmental studies ever done on these corridors.
Our environment is our environment. Our water source is our water source. That's it. If there's a mistake that's made or something isn't checked, double checked, triple checked, quadruple checked, then it could affect, you know, the quality of our water, the water life, or the quality of our community, you know, our air quality as well, you know, noise, all of those environmental things are checked. It's not just a simple, is the road level here and can we put some pavement down? There are extensive studies that are done. It is the most detailed study that can be done. It's important to have the EIS study done because it does give us a foundation for future road building.
In addition to determining what's the best way to build over these and other areas, the Alamo RMA is exploring efficient and effective ways to pay for projects during these tough financial times.
We can address toll issues and toll lanes, toll roads, non-tolled projects, whatever we feel is best for the community at that time. If we create a funding source, we create revenues from people in our community and maybe visitors to our community, those funds stay in Bexar County. You cannot rely on old funding sources. Part of the gas tax is used to pay for roadways and maintenance here in the state of Texas. That's the way that we do our funding. The gas tax in the state of Texas has not been increased since 1991. For the federal government, 1993. Now, we are all doing things a whole lot differently today than what we were doing in 1991 and 1993. We cannot rely on that funding source for our roads, for our infrastructure. We just cannot do that. We have got to look forward.
One of the ways that we're looking at that is by using tolling. You know, with tolling, we can take $1 and stretch it 4 times. So that leveraging is really important. We need to look at how we can partner with the community, the county, the city, and look at transportation reinvestment zones. Certainly with transportation, you see development. You see development that occurs. We should be looking at how we capture that development. Capture the property tax and perhaps the sales tax that comes along with development and use those dollars to build transportation projects. We should be very conscious of partnering with the Department of Transportation and taking advantage of programs that they have in place, like the county has done with their pass-through financing program, where you take county dollars and you get the project developed, and then you use state dollars for the actual construction of the project.
San Antonio is the only major urban community in the state that doesn't use toll roads as a way to build and maintain their roads. One major incentive to have toll roads is that they allow for the reinvestment of local revenue into local transportation projects. Another is that it gives people a choice.
The state law requires that we only add new capacity. You never take away what is considered free today, which we never say is free because you've paid for it with gas tax, but you can't take that away. You can only add new lanes, and then you get to choose as a driver. Do I choose today to be on the tolled facility, or do I choose today to be on the non-tolled facility?
In fact, transportation infrastructure is a vital part of our prosperity.
No community is going to do well without 4 areas of infrastructure being very, very strong. Those 4 are these. You need a quality supply of energy that's predictable. You need a quality supply of water that's predictable. You need a quality educational program for your kids from kindergarten through high school, and then opportunities for higher education. And you need transportation. Those are all 4 infrastructure needs that any community that's going to succeed must have.
In many parts of our community, long gone are the days when we used to be able to get safely and quickly from point A to point B with ease.
There was a time 25 years ago where we used to boast. We said that San Antonio has more interstate highway mileage per capita than any other metropolitan area in the United States. Maybe Southern California was in our league, but we had the infrastructure to move people in place. We had Loop 410. We had the various interstate highways crisscrossing here in our community. It was only 15 years ago that 1604 was a 2-lane road and was known by everyone in San Antonio as the Death Loop. It simply didn't have the capacity.
That's why the Alamo RMA is addressing our mobility needs today and looking forward to our future needs through proper planning.
Planning is nothing more than trying to forecast what it's going to look like in the out years and what the needs are going to be in the out years. And there's no one single person that knows those answers. But when you have a commonality of answers that come forward, you start seeing a picture being painted of what this is going to look like 10, 20, 30 years out. And it starts becoming more clear. And if you can understand what it's going to look like, then you can start planning the transportation that will accommodate that.
Proper mobility planning not only helps us address our transportation needs, but also benefits our local economy.
We're in a competitive environment. The latest numbers are there's 1,330 people every day moving into Texas. At the end of a year, you have a city the size of Fort Worth that's grown in Texas. Now, where in Texas are they going to grow? Well, transportation is one of the main things that businesses are going to look at as far as locating. And if they locate there and the jobs are there, the people are going to come there. And it's not a magic formula, you can see it work. You can see it work for cities. We all know cities where congestion is very, very bad and it works against them.
One major component of the planning process is making sure the public is involved and providing input into the EIS process.
I think that getting input from the local people, with local people receiving it like myself and the others on the board, it adds a great value to where we're trying to go and hopefully means that we're going the correct route. This gets back to local people, local control, local input. That's our drinking water. And we have to be very, very careful. We actually have an opportunity here. We have an opportunity right now, cars sitting there that are dripping oil or dripping anything off their cars, there's no protection. It's just going on the pavement, and then when it rains, it goes off the pavement. We have an opportunity to do some things. The technology today on environmental sensitive areas and what can be done is changing every day and improved a great deal over what it was even 2 or 3 years ago.
It gives us an opportunity to bring diverse voices to the table. And so through our citizens advisory process, we bring together the businesses, the community of residents, and the community that has a special interest, the environmental community, and a community that has a voice relative to how you pay for projects. So bringing all them together to have a healthy dialogue about how we move forward in this community to build projects while taking care of all of the diverse interests is very important. And that's what the Citizens Advisory Committee and that's what community involvement is all about for the Alamo RMA.
Once the EISs are complete, our community will be better positioned to handle future transportation growth in these corridors.
In all of our projects, we have allowed for a right-of-way envelope for any future transit decision that is made, whether that is a light rail or bus rapid transit or a designated lane for high occupancy vehicles. That decision hasn't been made. The key is that you preserve that right-of-way envelope so that those decisions are able to be made when funding becomes available and the decision is made to move forward with that. So on 281 and on Loop 1604, all of our options avail us of the opportunity to have a future transit multimodal component.
Freedom from congestion and freedom to drive our own transportation future. That's the Alamo RMA destination.
The Alamo Regional Mobility Authority is an opportunity for our community. And the reason for that is it's managed by local people who live here, who love our community, care for our community, who have control over the projects. Local control is important. The Alamo Regional Mobility Authority is a local organization.
The Alamo Regional Mobility Authority, moving people faster.